What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another late night in the BrewLab with me, Lone Fox, your Brewmaster-in-Chief. And tonight, in the BrewLab, I'm coming at you with, as voted on by you guys, Golgari Runes. I was kind of hoping that the Demir Kraken's deck won out the poll, but it was close for a moment, and in the end, we got some Golgari runes for you guys. So without further ado, let's jump into tonight's brew. It's the usual runes package as far as green is concerned. We've got Generous Visitor and Kami of Transience, and of course the Rune of Might. Oftentimes in that deck they run maybe one or two of Weavers, and they sometimes run Jugan, but mostly I was talking about the Visitor and the Kami of Transience. These are in here. Hopefully you get them in your opening hand. Start applying pressure really early, because this deck doesn't have a very huge late game. I mean, it can. I've had it happen, but of course it runs into plenty of removal and other sweepers and things. So you got to try and apply as much pressure as you can as early on. And your Generous Visitor and Kami of Transience are going to be the ones doing that. Because of course the rest of the stuff is enchantments. Every time you cast them, it'll trigger both of them, and you can get the Kami to be quite big with the trample and start applying that early game pressure. Of course, if then they remove it and it has some of these runes on it, or if they kill one of your other enchantments, or if your Binding of the Old Gods just naturally goes to the graveyard, then you can get your Kamis back from the yard, which is quite nice, unless they were, of course, exiled. Then we've got some Bloodchief's Thirst just for some early game sort of spot removal. I was finding that by the time we get to the Binding and the Meathook, it'll be too late. And so Bloodchief's Thirst has been kind of really saving my ass for that. And I'm even thinking of a way to go up to a fourth copy, maybe do something like this. But for now, it's been running okay. Let's see how it performs, and then we might make some adjustments, because Bloodchief's Thirst still, when this rotates out, what's going to happen for Mono Black? The new 1 mana stuff is okay. I mean, there's Ray of Enfeeblement, but it only hits on white stuff really, and there's this other one called Play Dead or something, which is, no, you are already dead, but that's not great either. So I don't know. I hope they print something that's the equivalent, because it's an essential piece in the black arsenal. Anyway, rambling about Bloodchief's Thirst. We've got, of course, the runes. It's a runes deck. We've got 3 of the black one and 3 of the green one. The black one gives Death Touch, and the green one gives Trample +1/+1, and they both draw cards. Of course, if you have the Weaver of Harmony down, you can pay 1 green and copy one of those triggered abilities and draw 2 cards off of each rune, which is great. As well as it being an enchantment creature, it'll trigger everything else when it comes into play. The Weaver of Harmony is great in this deck because of one of the interactions I just mentioned, and then the other one, which is fantastic, is doubling your first trigger on the destroy, on the Binding of the Old Gods. So you can destroy 2 things off of 1 binding, which is fantastic. You can also, potentially, I mean, it rarely comes up, but you could double one of the triggers off of the Meathook. If you need just 1 more drain, you can get 1 more of those little triggers that'll drain your opponent. Or, you can double the putting a +1/+1 counter on each of up to 2 target creatures, the second chapter of Jugan. There's plenty of cool things you can copy with this, as well as it not being legendary, so when you have multiple copies on board, they buff each other. They can get quite juicy. It's nice, but generally I don't put my runes on it, because it's being mostly used for its ability. So yeah, keep your runes for your Visitor, your Tatsunari, your Kami, which we're about to get to, and of course Remnant of the Rising Star. The backside of Jugan defends the temple. Then we've got a full place of the Meathook Massacre. It makes sense, right? It's an enchantment, so it'll trigger all of our enchantment synergies, as well as just being a great sweeper. You can often cast it, and because these are cast triggers, both the Generous Visitor and the Kami, you can grow your stuff just that little bit bigger than what you've declared it as X, so then your opponent loses their stuff on the stack, basically, and you get to keep your stuff. You know how much I love me a good one-sided board wipe. But then, the real reason why I wanted to run, a Golgari Runes deck was to try and figure out a better place for Tatsunari. We tried this Toad Enchantments deck a little while back, which was quite fun, but never quite made it pop. Let's see if this is the new place. So far, it's been great in testing. It becomes a removal, like, magnet. As soon as you drop it, the opponent freaks out, so they try and get rid of it. So if you've already got the Kami in play, there'll always be something left behind, which is great. And the Kami is really what you're after over the Tatsunari. Sure, the activated ability that makes it and the frog unblockable can sometimes win you games if the opponent doesn't have the answer. But if they do have an answer for one of the two things, they tend to go for the Frog Rider and the Toad Rider, and you're left. It's so weird that it's a Toad Rider, but then the creature's a frog. Whatever. You're left with the Kami, and that's what you're really after. Every time you cast an enchantment spell, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. So a little bit of like gain and drain for these enchantments that you're casting. It's not the win con in any way, shape, or form, but it can often just like be the little added bit of edge that you need just to win a game. And it's of course a great target for your runes and things like that, because if they do get rid of it, then the runes go to the graveyard and you can get back your Kamis, that kind of stuff. Then, Jugan, playing it a lot. You guys have probably seen it in quite a few of my decks. It's kind of like the black reflection of Kikijiki. I mean, obviously the Fable of the Mirror Breaker is a lot better, but this is pretty freaking good. I mean, the first chapter ramps you, second chapter grows your stuff. If you go for this, like, turn 1 Generous Visitor, turn 2 Kami of Transience, turn 3 Jugan, triggers your first 2 guys, and then the second chapter you put more counters on them, and then cast something else that you ramped into with the, it's not bad. And then the backside is WinCon, full on. Like, you can easily get to the 5 or more modified creatures. 1 Generous Visitor, 1 Kami, 1 Toad Rider, and the Kami, plus the Human Monk, plus, the Remnant itself. There's often, you can go quite wide-ish with the deck. So, getting to that 5 or more modified creatures that include it, so it just needs to be 5 creatures on board that are modified, gives it 5/5 and trample. And it of course modifies everything that comes into play. Even if you like have it already in play, the Remnant, and then you play a Tatsunari and cast a rune on it or something, and you make the Kami. The Kami will still be a creature that's entering the battlefield. You can put additional +1/+1 counters on it depending on your mana with the Remnant. Super nice. And then Binding of the Old Gods. It's obviously just the perfect removal for a deck like this. We're playing the right colors for it. It's an enchantment deck. And the modes are actually not all wasted. Often the third chapter is a bit useless. In this deck, it's actually quite nice. In that aforementioned, like, pretty wide board state that we can get to. Also giving all of your creatures Death Touch, which makes them, the opponent, even more, unincentivized to block them. But sometimes will force them to block in a situation where then, you would still be left with the majority of the creatures on board and they lose all their stuff. Otherwise, they die, and then the next turn you can swing in. I love that little bit of pressure that Death Touch can add in a deck that's struggling a bit with like a big top end creature. So as an additional win con, of course, we needed some creature lands, and the black one is the best one. So we've gone for 2 Hives, 1 Takenuma, sort of like split it around. Then it's 2 Boseijus, 1 Lair, because I think Boseiju is the better legendary land from Kamigawa than Takenuma, and vice versa. And then we've just got the usual hodgepodge here of duels and basics. That's the deck. I hope you get it. It's pretty simple. Let's jump into some games. The biggest enemy is, of course, Boros Burn. It's become like more than half of the games I play, it feels like. But we'll have to make like an anti-Boros Burn deck in the next couple days. Today I must have played them, I don't know, upwards of 10 times. I feel like it's becoming a bit ridiculous. It's the new mono white. Nice. If he plays a 1-drop, I'll play the Pathway on black and Bloodchief's Thirsted if it's a good 1-drop. If he doesn't, then I'll play the Deathcap Glade and wait to set up my cannon. Ooh, that's terrible. That's terrible. That means Vanishing Verse. Couldn't have asked for a worse match. Okay. Mardu? That's a 1-drop worth removing. think. It always got a second one. This is one card I won't be missing. Of course, it's really strong. I've played with it heaps. It's fun, but... Alrighty then. And we got the mana for the Weaver of Harmony. Okay. Not too bad. I'm obviously terrified of burn down the house or something like that. There was a Meathook. He's probably got another in hand. Okay. These are going to be some big spideys. That's a big problem. Meh. I think I'll wait, thank you very much. Although this is getting pretty scary. I have a feeling there's a vanishing verse somewhere in my life very soon. Unfortunately, my poor Kami. Uh-oh. Wrong choice. Wrong choice. We got another. Oh, God. Okay, I don't know how... I don't have a good feeling about this match. Binding of the Old Gods would be pretty nice. Thanks, deck. That's exactly what I needed. Another land right now. Just perfect, thank you. Jesus. And that's gonna be game.
Your punishment is my coin or courage. Tribute is owed. Oh, you're quite the nuisance.
Watch me draw another land.
It's bold to bargain with me.
Oh, yay. Alright, fellow. Nice to see a Mardu deck. It's been a while. Straight back down to the bottom of D4. But that's okay. As you know, in the BrewLab, we roll with the punches. Get up, fight again. Learn from your mistakes. most importantly. Scacchista. It's a fellow Italian. Let's see if he has... Nope. Wrong sleeves. Oh, that's terrible. Mono green. Uh-oh. Meathook Massacre, pretty cool. No lands, pretty bad. Goes for the ramp plan. Still untap a land with the Sculptor. And then do a lovely Blizzard Brawl on one of my creatures. 100% guaranteed. Oh my word. Why? Alright, double black for the Massacre. They always have two. It's like the rules of the game. I don't think I've ever not faced down two Blizzard Brawls in the opening hand. Although if he had it, he'd probably have used it already. Second Jewel Thief. Pretty nasty. Please no. You've got to be joking. You have actually got to be joking. Okay. Whew. Had me worried there for a sec. You should attack, yes. I'm not going to block. Land. Yes! Two 5/5s and some removal. Heyo! That's 10 damage next turn. Unblockable. Can only be blocked by creatures with flying and reach. Okay. He could still have the... Oh. He could still have had the freaking Snakeskin Veil or Tamiyo's. Oh wow, okay. Maybe we draw another black source. Oh. This is not looking good. Could be a Titan. I think it's a Titan. Oh no, man. Oh wow. Okay. Whew. Still pretty bad. I've never really faced this down, but
I like it.
I think it's Titan potentially, right? Because he just sacrifices. And I'm just going for the. If I go for a 4 mana, I lose my Generous Visitor, but I put, yeah. This becomes a 5/5. I lose the Visitor, but bye-bye. Pretty nice.
Oh, fine.
Very
There are
nice.
other paths to walk.
I would love to have that back. Thank you. I think that's game. Ew. Golgari Runes, baby. That was probably a very good matchup for us, right? I mean, the main removal we need to worry about is Blizzard Brawl. We got lucky. You only had the one in the early game, and then once your creatures get big enough, there's not much you can do. Very nice. Loved how that turned out, and got to kind of show off the one-sided board wipe I was mentioning, where we just grew our creatures big enough to avoid the wipe on the stack. And then bit of a redeemer after that terrible game one. Oh, my kingdom for a masseuse. DJ Skate. Waka waka. Thanks, but no thanks. Oh, here we go. Here we go. This is all my reasoning why I should be running. So now you can just... The Kumano is also terrible against the Kami of Transience. You can just play with Fire It. And it will be exiled. Not coming back from any graveyards. This deck is so good, man. Just get him to use the burn on us. I mean on our creatures. Of course. That's just game. This deck is so busted, I don't even know what to say anymore. When they got those curves like that, there's nothing. Like, it's... I mean, for no other reason has it just suddenly taken over Standard at best of one. It's like the #1 played deck on the Untapped and on MTGA zone. It gets wins. And it gets them quick. I'm gonna be switching between that, the Naya Reanimator, and Mono White Aggro just on spam until I get into Mythic during the day. That's why probably tomorrow and the next couple of days until I get into Mythic I'm gonna be playing in Unranked. Because, you know, testing these fun, more like fun brews on the side is definitely gonna hurt my rank. I don't think that this Golgari Runes is quite up to it. It probably needs a bit more spot removal, but then you lose sort of that enchantment. Again, we just played them. Second time in a row. Nudge me, man. Royal thing. Attack again. Oh dear. It's okay. If we get another land, we can do a 3-mana one next turn. Because we've got a backup Meathook. We're getting a little luckier with his hand than the previous opponent. Kind of, yes. That's enough lands now, thank you. Let's give the Toad Rider Trample and the Frog Death Touch. Also, it's now outside of range of his removal. Forget I said anything. Just put it into range. What is with all this land, dude? You. Second copy of Valorous Stance. You little slimy person. Unbelievable. They usually only run the one of. Oh, I could have blocked with Kami. I was sick. Man, this is getting ridiculous. It's all the forests in my deck. Thank you. Oh, definitely blocking that. Q. A little bit of luck. He doesn't have another copy of Pharaoh Stance again. Thank you very much. That's a problem. Woohoo! Okay. Still hasn't found any of his removal spells. Oh, that's just beautiful. It'll definitely come in handy. Going for it, huh? Another Valorous Stance. He would have used it on my creatures before attacking, surely. Okay, okay. Cool, 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 cool. I guess. Sheesh. The cheek. Oh, come on with this land situation. This is insane. I haven't flooded this bad in a long time. What the hell, man? You have got to be shitting me, dude. Ugh. No dens. Dude, this is insane. This is insane. Oh my god. What is this? Where are my lands, mate? Can you imagine? Can't attack now though. He sees the Lair. No, feel the ruins. That is one of the worst floods we've had on the channel in the last good while. Could have like a fight spell that gives him something. Dude. What? Are you kidding me? Are you trying to like screw with me or something? Whew. This is ridiculous. Very weird way of winning, but we did it in the end. Woo. That was the maddest flood. I mean, I've got it all on camera. That's all the proof I need. That was the most insane amount of lands off the top that I've had in a very long time. Hey, but we still managed to eke out a victory. We've arrived at what is probably going to be the last match of the night, depending on how long it goes. Opponent, server opponent. The server, or it's either the server or the opponent. Someone's always making me wait. Case in point. Wow. Player numbers must be down or something, or people are all playing alchemy because of the new stuff, but doubt it. Okay. Thank you, Arena. Yeah, there's definitely a lack of people playing. Especially in Diamond, I guess. Number 100 and whatever. Great. Just need a land. We're loving life. 2 green. There's the land. They see the black, they're like, huh? Now the question is, do we go Toad Rider or Jugan? I think we risk it. Opponent's playing a bit slow. We go full Toad Rider on his ass. And then Jugan. So we could Jugan and remove a 2-drop or something. With the Bloodchief's Thirst. Or if we need to spend more mana on the Bloodchief's Thirst, it's like a 4-drop. Hopefully it's not like a... Oof. I was worried it would be like a Skyclave Apparition. A Seeker's Chariot? Interesting. That's terrible. I guess it's a Magecraft deck then. Oh baby, the triggers. I get the sneaking suspicion there might be that, you know, if your thing's tapped and attacking, it can get hit by. It's one of the cleave cards. We can make these unblockable. And also give one of them trample. So unless it's a Doomscar, we're good. Please no Doomscar. Doomscar would be terrible. But I don't think so. Not when you see the charge throughs. Was the Magecraft. So now he's definitely going to have cameos and whatnot for the Bloodchief's Thirst, so we don't go for that play. And we just make these unblockable. It's 2 mana, 1 and a green, and make them bigger with the Rune of Might and the triggers from the Generous Visitor. You could respond with a Fateful Absence or something, which would be, of course, terrible. Change of plans. Maxing out on the triggers. Might have been a mistake. I could have just probably won there. And now I'm worried about what's going to happen on the, you know, if I let him untap. So we'd probably just go full send. I believe we're getting roped by Mr. 179 with his Selesnya Virtuoso deck. It's definitely gonna hinder our chances at having another match after this. Guess we can try. Oh. Lol. Yes! Victory is mine. Alright guys, that's going to be it for tonight's video. Ending in a pretty spectacular fashion. I mean, the poor guy obviously didn't get anything he needed in his hand, but still, nice to beat somebody who's so highly ranked with my janky homebrew. A couple of decent victories, I hope you agree. Some of them quite unconventional, but we managed to get there in the end with the Meathook Massacre. But yeah, I got to show off pretty much everything except for the doubling of the destroying thing with the binding of the old gods and Weaver of Harmony. But everything else we kind of got to do, so I'm pretty happy. The Tatsunari really shining. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Kind of cool new way of building around this runes thing with the Kami and the Generous Visitor. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. But that's going to be it, as I said, for tonight's video. Thank you all so much for watching. It really means a lot, especially those of you who stick around to the end. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and join the Discord community. Link is in the video description. I will see you all tomorrow with some fresh brews. And until then, this is Lone Fox from the BrewLab, signing out. Peace, y'all.